The Expanse creators are developing another space opera adaptation for Prime Video, which already seems to have one significant advantage over the six-season sci-fi series. As incredible as The Expanse might have been, the show never got to reach its natural conclusion and cover all books from the original series. After all these years, it also seems unlikely it will get to return with more new installments. With its incredible six-season run, The Expanse cemented its place as one of the best sci-fi adaptations of the century. However, the show almost fell short of reaching its true potential when Sci-Fi canceled it after only 3 seasons. Thankfully, it was fortunate enough to get a revival on Prime Video, which allowed it to last for 3 more seasons. The epic Prime Video sci-fi show's creators are now working on an adaptation of The Captives' War, which is another book series written by The Expanse's authors, Daniel Abraham and Franck. Since it is backed by The Expanse's creators, The Captives' War's TV adaptation already seems to have a promising future. What makes one even more optimistic about it is its massive edge over The Expanse. Unlike The Expanse, Prime Video's Captives' War only has to adapt 3 books. The Captives' War has been planned as a book trilogy that already has 2 installments, The Mercy of Gods and the Faith of Beasts, and 1 novella, Live Suit. On the other hand, The Expanse's original book series includes 9 mainline novels and several short stories, making it a far more expansive and long-running sci-fi saga. With so many installments in the original book series, Prime Video's The Expanse could never have covered the entire storyline from the books. Especially in the streaming era, where most shows struggle to last beyond 2 or 3 seasons, The Expanse was actually fortunate enough to get a 6-season run. Despite lasting so long, though, the show fell short of capturing the full scope of its source material's sci-fi storytelling. Since there are only 3 books in the original Captives' War series, its Prime Video adaptation can cover its entire story in just 3 or 4 seasons. Unlike The Expanse, the Captives' War TV show seems to have a far better likelihood of adapting its source material from beginning to end without leaving major story arcs unexplored. The Captives' War adaptation also marks the reunion of many creative forces behind The Expanse. While Narain Shankar is returning as the show's showrunner, The Expanse and the Captives' War's original authors, Franck and Daniel Abraham, are also actively involved in the show's writing process. Since 2 installments of the book trilogy have already been published, the show's creators already have enough storytelling content for 2 seasons or maybe even 3. By the time they exhaust the stories from the 2 books and the novella, Franck and Daniel Abraham will be done with the 3rd novel. This will ensure that, unlike Game of Thrones, Prime Video's The Captives' War will never be forced to outpace its source material. One of the biggest hurdles with the later Expanse books was the significant time jump. The show would have to recast beloved characters or significantly age the existing cast to faithfully adapt the story's later events. This would have created additional creative and logistical complications, explaining why The Expanse had to be ended after 6 seasons. This is where The Captives' War seems to have another major advantage, as it does not feature any dramatic time jumps and only lasts for 3 installments. Compared to The Expanse, The Captives' War is also inherently more claustrophobic and character-driven, which makes it easier to adapt for the small screen. With so much going in The Captives' War favor, it is hard not to believe that it will prove to be as successful as The Expanse on Prime Video, if not more.